Today, we're talking about why your outbound team isn't booking appointments. Many business owners don't understand that most appointment setters, or as they're known in some industries, SDRs, aren't failing. They're actually getting canceled by ultra rigorous spam filters. If you run outbound in a B2B company and it feels like you're working harder for fewer booked calls, this is for you. Because what's derailing outbound right now isn't effort. It's not motivation, and in many cases, it's not even bad copy. Before you hire another rep or invest in a new AI tool, watch this. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you the 3 critical mistakes that make outbound more expensive and painful than ever before. In 2026, there are teams that are a few emails away from letting go of employees or even closing shop. At the same time, there are companies booking more appointments than their sales teams can actually handle. And I want to share what makes all the difference. I'm Christian, founder of Perfect Mondays, a boutique AI automation agency. For the past 25 years, I've helped hundreds of business owners in 14 countries increase their sales 3 to 9 times. I'm going to jump right in. Critical mistake number 1, trying to scale outbound before you have earned inbox trust. Outbound has a weird feeling right now. You can see it. Messages going out, follow-ups firing, people doing the work, and somehow your calendar still looks emptier than it should. So you do what every smart team does. Assume it's a message. Rewrite the opener, rewrite the sequence, add personalization. But then nothing moves. You push again, new AI tool, more volume, more sequences. But then it gets worse because you're not scaling booked calls. You're scaling the exact behavior that gets you sent to spam. Here's what most founders don't fully realize. Your SDRs don't win when they write a better email. Your SDRs win when the email reaches a human. Google says Gmail blocks nearly 15 billion unwanted emails every single day and stops more than 99.9% of spam, phishing, and malware. Now, let's talk about the world most B2B buyers live in, Microsoft. Validity's benchmark shows Microsoft inbox placement at 75.6%. Spam is 14.6%. Emails that go missing account for 9.8%. So if your market is Microsoft heavy and you send 10,000 emails, here's what really happens. 7,560 hit the inbox, 1,460 go to spam, 980 don't even show up anywhere. That's not a copy problem. That's a visibility problem. Some teams are dying because they use AI to spray more content into stricter filters. Other teams are killing it because they treat deliverability like a revenue system. Reputation, authentication, complaint discipline, list hygiene, and controlled sending. They earn the right to scale. Validity look at senders who run sender certification versus those who don't. In 2025, certified senders had a 7.9% inbox placement advantage across the full year. And in Q4, that advantage jumped to 15.2%. That's the game. When volume spikes, mailbox providers prioritize trusted senders. Everybody else gets pushed into junk, throttled, or blocked. And 2026 is the year the optional part disappears. Microsoft announced new requirements for high volume senders. If you're sending more than 5,000 emails per day to Outlook addresses, Microsoft now expects SPF, which servers are allowed to send for your domain, DKIM, a signature proving the email is really from you, and DMARC, the policy that tells inboxes what to do when SPF or DKIM fail. Non-compliant mail gets routed to junk first and then eventually can be rejected. So the real shift isn't write better emails. The shift is stop building growth on a channel that is rejecting you. This is also why appointment setter roles are getting squeezed. Shopify CEO Toby Lütke recently said, using reflexive AI is now a baseline expectation at Shopify. Before teams ask for more headcount, they have to prove why AI can't do the job. Translation: activity becomes cheap. Headcount becomes harder to justify. So leadership starts asking one brutal question. Why are we paying humans for something that software can do? Jason Lemkin, the founder of SaaStr and the guy who built EcoSign and sold it to Adobe, said it even more bluntly. We're done with hiring humans in sales. This is why mistake number 1 matters. If your outbound doesn't reliably reach humans, your SDR team gets blamed for a problem they can't fix with better lines. Critical mistake number 2, you're using AI to sound personalized instead of using it to find a real reason they should care right now. Because in 2026, personalization is basically free. Everybody can do it. And buyers have learned the pattern. They've seen the same thing happen 1,000 times. Loved your post. Noticed you're hiring. So you're growing. Quick question. It reads like a car salesman wearing a tuxedo. Personalization is not enough. It's often just decoration, like writing someone's name on a piece of junk mail. Congratulations, you now personalize their trash. Or thinking about it like this: personalization is the knock on the door. A trigger is what makes them open it. A trigger is specific, costly, time bound. It's not, I saw you're a VIP of sales. It's, you hired 3 appointment setters, your reply rates dropped, and you're about to spend another $150,000 on the wrong fix. It's not, I saw your company is growing. It's, you're expanding into a Microsoft heavy market and your outbound is about to get trashed if you can scale the right way. That's why this mistake is so brutal. You think you're improving performance by polishing words, but the buyer isn't grading your writing skills. They're asking one question: why are you in my inbox today? If you don't answer that in the first breath, you get deleted even if you personalize it perfectly. So mistake 2 is simple. You're optimizing the words instead of the trigger. Mistake number 3. This is one of the ones that makes founders furious because it looks like you're getting traction and then it vanishes. Even when you do land in the inbox, even when you do get replies, most teams still lose because they don't have a system that turns interest into a booked call. The reply comes in, it sits, it gets mishandled, it gets passed around, it gets a slow generic response, or it gets a calendar link with zero context and the prospect goes cold. So mistake number 3 is the leak after the reply, the part nobody sees, the part that makes you pay for the same lead twice. So let's go there. Critical mistake number 3 is treating replies like wins. A reply isn't a win, it's a door cracking open. And in 2026, the door closes really fast. Here's what it looks like in the real world. A prospect finally replies, not a yes, but a signal, a question. Send me info. How does this work? What's the pricing? Maybe, it depends. And then your system does the one thing that it can't afford to do. It hesitates. It sits in an inbox. It gets forwarded. It gets handled by the wrong person. It gets answered later with a polite paragraph that says nothing. Or the appointment setter drops a calendar link like, here, go figure it out. And that's how you lose the easiest deals to close. Not because they weren't interested, because you made it hard to turn raw interest into a call. And this is the part that pisses founders off, because it's invisible. You look at the numbers and say, we're getting replies, but you still have an empty calendar because outbound is not one job, it's 2 jobs. Job number 1, earn their attention long enough to get a reply. Job number 2, convert that reply while the moment is still alive. Most teams stop at job 1. They celebrate the reply like it's the end, when it's only the beginning. And this is why it feels random. One day you get a reply and a book called, another day you get a reply and nothing happens. Same market, same offer, same appointment setter. The difference is what happened in the minutes after the reply. As I've said in other videos, MIT and Inside Sales found that contacting a lead within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes makes you 100 times more likely to connect and 21 times more likely to qualify. So if your replies are sitting for 30 minutes, an hour, half a day, you're not just being a little slow, you're gifting your competitors the lead you just paid for. And it's not because your team is stupid, it's because you don't have a system. When a reply hits, 1 or 2 things happen. Either it waits or it gets a generic response that kills the momentum. Because without a system, speed depends on luck and who happened to see it first. As the owner, this is the only scoreboard that really matters: booked calls. So if your system can't reliably turn replies into book calls, the appointment setter starts looking like expensive activity. That's when people say, we can replace this. AI can send, AI can follow up, AI can even respond. But if you don't design what happens after the reply, you'll have more activity than ever and still miss the meetings you should have booked. If you're a B2B company doing 3 to 20 million and outbound is more expensive than it should, click on the link underneath this video. We'll do a diagnostic session where we'll map your speed to leave and follow up system gaps in one session. I can't wait to show you how many more leads you can close this year.